Hello, everybody. Here is my assessment, my revisions going along with my lesson plan. But for the most part, I felt very good about how everything went. Anytime you have an assignment like this where you're really putting in a lot of time and effort, not that most lessons aren't, but when you're focused on one specific lesson, you tend not to miss things, kind of like I did with this assignment. But anyways, you take your time, you plan things down to, every last dot of the I, cross of the T. So for the most part, I felt like this went well. We spent a lot of time talking about westward migration and the Oregon Trail. So when we got to the end of, the different readings that we had done, I gave them a variety of primary source documents, and it was different diaries and stories about people who had moved out west, their new lives, and then they had to write two different sorts of prompts. So half the class was given an informational prompt, and half the class was given a persuasive. As you can see there on the screen, these are the prompts that were provided. But as I reflect, one of the biggest changes would be, I feel like in most lessons, the ELL students get passed over. We have a decent amount of Spanish speaking, but a lot of Bengali students. And being able to find things that translate over is sometimes very difficult. If anybody's got a story to tell about, packing up and moving west, it's the Bengali students. But for them to understand the United States, what it was like on the East Coast, in the mid 1800s, and then, this westward migration by foot, it's a completely different ball of wax. So I definitely need to find more readings, work with the ELL teachers, and just provide additional resources, things that they can understand. The ISTE standard that fits well with this was exploring the real world issues. The students, through reading these primary sources and spending time with the other assignments that went along with the chapter, really got a feel for what it was like day to day, making their way out, the dangers that they encountered along the trail. Of course, we spend a little time playing the Oregon Trail. Everybody dies of cholera or snake bite. So the questions that go along: do the tasks yield appropriate evidence of understanding? And I would say yes. The one thing, when we're assessing using a writing prompt, there's no guessing. It's not multiple choice. It's not fill in the blank. It's not eliminate wrong answers and get it down to, 50-50. They really had to understand the material and what life was like to put together a good written portion here. Do the tasks involve real world authentic applications? They're learning about life on the trail. And for those people, that was real world. And a lot of this was about problem solving and, what could they do to increase their odds of survival? It's no different for these kids when they get out in the real world now. It's not necessarily about traveling west, but it's about being resourceful and understanding your surroundings and using it to the best of your ability. Are a variety of appropriate assessments to evidence learning? No. We take chapter test, but it covers everything, from California Gold Rush, the war with Texas, for Texas independence. So we would need more opportunities for the students. A writing prompt can be difficult, especially with the learning support students that struggle with writing. So, this is a way to assess what they know, but, they could make videos, they could illustrate something, there could be an oral sort of assessment, just tell me what you know, because writing is not always going to hit everything needed for all the students. But all in all, I felt like this was, an assignment that we spent a lot of time on. We put it together pretty well, and for the most part, pleased with it. I wish I had this kind of time, with my co-teacher to put together every assignment we do, but unfortunately, it's not the case. So hopefully, we can incorporate what we learned here and sort of tie it into future assessments.